This is Deductor, bringing you the Iron Oath, a indie roguelike mercenary management game. My favorite type of game. I need to talk a little slower this time so as to preserve my energy. This year there are just too many games, too many series that I just can't seem to finish because there's too many good games. Last Spell, Darkest Dungeon 2, Jagged Alliance 3, Baldur's Gate 3, which is an incredible game, and I even recorded a little bit of it, but it's just too long. I've been playing a multiplayer game, and I feel like that might be the best way to enjoy Baldur's Gate 3 multiplayer setting. It is incredible. And then I've had my eyes on this game for a year or two since it was announced, and it finally came out of early access, and I paid full price for it. I can't remember, it was like $25 or $30. And my verdict at the end of my playing enough of this game is that it's basically Darkest Dungeon 1, but on a grid as opposed to the, linear format. That's basically what this is. But it's pretty fun. I've been enjoying it. I've been having a good time. It is not Battle Brothers, but it is still pretty hard. Like, if Battle Brothers is a 10 out of 10 difficulty, this is like, 7 out of 10. But that's still really hard, and it kind of pained me when I was looking for gameplay footage that, at least on YouTube, everybody does not seem to understand what's going on in the game, which is disappointing. So my goal is to do a new campaign on the highest difficulty. We'll have some fun, and it probably is not going to get finished this series either, just because there's too many games this year, and the best game hasn't even fully released yet, which is why am I blinking? Against the Storm. That game is like the platonic ideal, literally the perfect game, but they gotta release it, All right, let's design a company sigil. What's a good sigil? I don't like that color scheme. Ooh, lion. Yes, that's good. Do a yellow lion on a... How about that? Ooh, yellow. Ooh, let's do something like this. A yellow lion. It'll be known as Deductor's Dudes for the maximum alliteration. And then we will play on Emperor. Highest default difficulty. It's pretty hard. Pretty hard. Alright, let's get to it. There is a good amount of text in this game. It's pretty well written. I will try to read it, but you'll have to excuse my slow pace. In an era all but forgotten, the gods once lived alongside humanity in the heart of Caelum. However, an unknown cataclysmic event plunged the world into a dark age. History was lost to time, and so too were the gods. In their absence, a rebuilding humanity was left to contain with the emergence of a great being of darkness from the void. Every few decades, in an event called the Scourge, the dragon's arrival would bring death and disease to the land. Those afflicted by the dragon's blight would lose their minds and bodies as they slowly became abominations of flesh and outcasts of society known as the Blighted. Despite centuries of effort from the Vanguard Order and the realm's greatest heroes, no lasting victory against the dragon could be achieved. Humanity has now come to accept the inevitability of the scourge as part of life, enduring, or in some cases thriving, despite it. With whispers of an impending scourge circulating, you and your company find yourselves in a burial crypt not far from the city of Andalan. A simple retrieval of smuggled supplies, or at least that's what your employer had promised. Ulrich. Damn grave robbers. Stay sharp. No doubt his companions will have heard that. Everyone stands still, tensions rising as they grip their weapons tight and scan the room for further hostiles. You hear a muffled shout from someone in an adjacent corridor, likely directed toward your now deceased associate. The sound of quickening footsteps soon follow, and three figures burst through a doorway at the far side of the room. Shit, should I go alert the others? Ulrich shakes his head, eyes fixed on the enemy. No time for that. We've no choice but to fight. Begin combat. Alright, this is the tutorial. I'm not going to read all of this. The usual survey the battlefield using the WASD keys. Pretty standard stuff. Alright. On their turn, each character can move. Yep. Green is movement, and then they can still do an action, like in XCOM. You can sprint by using both action points, like in XCOM. You can swap places. That's pretty common for this type of game. And you can, of course, choose how you want to move using the shift key. And there's an undo, but you can only undo if you haven't done something to change the battlefield, like take damage or trigger a hazard. So, tutorial will have you move the characters into position. There's a wait, and you can guard and so forth. Wait is like in Battle Brothers, you delay your turn. Notice the timeline up here. It's based on speed or initiative. Alright, so, and then there are special abilities down there. All the abilities have a limited number of charges. So, 3 charges for each, meaning you can use only 3 abilities per dungeon, unless you get more back. Alright, so you can bait enemies into traps. You want to be careful of hazards. There are push and pull abilities. So as an example, I'm going to move this called a pugilist, a monk basically, and you do a kick that will knock an enemy into a pit and stun them. There's zone of control, of course. So if an enemy tries to leave, you get a free attack on them. And generally, the AI doesn't want to leave zone of control. In addition to the special abilities, you get a basic attack. Special abilities never miss, but basic attacks can miss. Line of sight. Obstacles can block line of sight. So there's partial line of sight with a yellow eye. Red line of sight with red eye, meaning no line of sight. This is only for ranged characters, of course. So small obstacles are half, Large obstacles are full. And then certain abilities are not instant. They take time. They channel. So like the conduit ability, the storm color. Strong enough to one-shot, but you'll notice up here at the timeline, if I use it, it doesn't trigger until after the marksman gets to go. Stun enemies do not exert zone of control. There are all sorts of abilities that remove zone of control. It's actually pretty easy to do. Alright, finish. Morale. Your pugilist has killed an enemy and gained morale, which is this white bar. Kind of wish they chose a different color, like green or something. Maybe it changes based on the number. Morale is pretty important. Low morale means your character will sometimes pass turns. What else? Yeah, gain and loss through combat. You kill stuff, you'll get higher morale. All sorts of things enemies do will lower it. Low morale means you could just lose your turn, which is very bad. And then when morale is high, then negative conditions can be reduced, although that's rarely relevant. Alright, so now it's talking about flanking. If you surround an enemy on two opposing hexes, you flank them, you get a little extra damage. But the big thing is an enemy that is flanked, you can never miss with your basic attack. This is a 100%. And any character who's attacking a flanked enemy can never miss, including your ranged characters. Alright, so we got some loot, got some experience, all good stuff. Ulrich sheaves his weapon, gazing around the room to make sure all are unharmed. Everyone alright then? Roll win, and I'll rename these characters, they don't let you do that here. Gestures at some blood on Ulrich's arm. Remind us, certainly look better. Ulrich glances down at his injury and scoffs. What, this? He wipes at the blood, making a smeary mess of it. Nothing, time won't heal. I'll be fine. You turn as a familiar voice rings out distantly behind you, though the words are unclear. Is that you, Vaughn? Vaughn dashes into the room and stops, kneeling over to catch his breath. He looks up with a relieved smile. Glad to see you're still with us. Heard the fighting. Figured you could handle it, but I didn't want to take the chance. And the others. Vaughn points back in the direction he came from. Orin and the rest are still searching. Surely there are better places to stash supplies, but I suppose those smugglers had little choice. At least we're getting paid well to retrieve them. Worst situation. Aye, that we have, boss. I was just hoping my last job would be free of surprise. Ulrich, I can't fault you for wanting out, but I wish you would reconsider. Vaughn returns Ulrich's gaze and smiles faintly. This life takes a toll, my friend. You seem more deaf than any man should. Probably pronounced Ulrich, now that I think about it. His face goes dark for a brief moment, remembering all the friends you've lost. Your trusted advisor, Ulrich, steps out from beside you with hands raised, bringing the conversation to a halt. Alright now, there's plenty of time for talk later. Take a while to scour this place, even with the others' help. Right, I better get back to Torin and the rest before they find themselves lost. Watch your backs. Maybe more of those thieves in here. Yet. Vaughn looks back over his shoulder, nodding in acknowledgement. Get moving. Alright, and then this is the dungeon mode. Most actions you take will cost time. So what you can do is your party is right here, and then you have to move through this dungeon towards the objective. This, click, move, And then you can scout these nodes, because I don't know what this is. When we scout this is a chest. So loot the chest. Got bandage and tools. Provisions. We can use stuff like a healing potion, a bandage. We can even heal a little bit. Don't know that we need to do that. Our scouting charges are like we don't have enough scouting charges, so you know what, let's not scout this one. Oh, so it attracts light before you're on the ground. So let's take our time to review an enemy. Plenty of time to do that. The enemy. Okay, let's keep moving. You signal a halt as a faint and distant rumbling becomes audible, steadily growing louder and closer with each passing moment. You look up, noticing cracks forming in the ceiling. Small rocks break off and fall to the floor around you. Ulrich bumps against you and tugs at your arm, urging you to run. Caving, we need to move. Breaking into stride behind the rest of the party. You glance back to see the corridor collapsing, cascade of falling stones. Cross the threshold into another chamber, diving to the ground, as the path behind is quickly closed off by the crumbling structure. A cloud of dirt and dust obscures your vision, but the rumbling and crashing comes to a halt as the last few pieces of debris come tumbling into position. Yada yada. It just goes on. The point is, there is an earthquake. And we have to find another way out. So let's just keep going. Our priority is to find them. Hopefully they've already retrieved the supplies. Could do with a little luck. Alright. Come to an obstacle. Your path is blocked by a pile of rubble from the recent caving. Ulrich steps forward and climbs to gauge the severity of the blockage. Oh, it's not so bad. I can see a clear path through. Just need to move enough of this rubble so we can squeeze. He turns, looking down to address you. Any ideas? You can blast it with magic. In fact, one of our characters who is rash approves of this. Let's do it. Ulrich cautions everyone to stand back. A moment later, a blinding flash of light erupts from within the pile of rubble, showering the group with flying debris. Oh. Thus settles to review a clear path before you. Consider yourself lucky to be unharmed. Your party crawls through the gap in the rubble and comes out on the other side, sliding down the pile back on the solid ground. See the flickering light of a torch being passed into the room from a connector, illuminating more of your surroundings as it nears. The party forms up, preparing for combat as the flames bearer rounds the corner. Easy now, it's just me. I thought this whole damn place was going to come down on top of us. The structure groans and rumbles for a moment, and he glances around with some concern. Not yet. Yep. Caving. There's a lot of talk. I can't bring myself to read all of this. We're still looking for the supplies. Let's just hope it's not buried. And we need to find the exit. Alright, that's all very good. Ah, this is interesting. All that commotion has disturbed the dead within these walls. Already put down a few of the bastards. You best stay alert for more. Alright. The dead. Of course, there's undead. Alright, during deployment phase, you can reposition your party. And deployment zones vary from battle to battle. Deployment zones is pretty important. And you can use tab to know what the enemies are doing. This fight has a lot of these arbalisters. Actually very concerning. So I don't want to let myself get attacked by that ghoul for no reason. So we'll take out the group on the left first and then deal with the group on the right. These Those arbalesters might do quite a bit of damage. Too much we can do about that, though. Might use one of my conduit charges. When you guard, it's supposed to fully block line of sight, but line of sight in this game is kind of like wonky, in my experience. Let's just wait, see what they do. This is a kill, but my characters can't get out of the zone of control anyway. What I could do is just arc lightning it. I know it's a single target, but it's guaranteed damage. Yep. Range enemies deal a ridiculous amount of damage, I know. So we're gonna go deal with them. Oh, it's guaranteed to kill here. Fire Lance. Alright, that one someone else can kill. I mean, we have options. I could do stuff like kick you into the arbalister. I could kick you here so you're stunned. These things shoot, I believe, 4, so it moves up 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it can't get me. If I come here, that's not as ideal of an AoE. Let's do the stun by knocking you into the pit. 76%. I'll take that. Yep, some enemies have passive abilities. The undead will revive. And then you can right click to learn about them. We'll do that eventually. Alright, nope, can't see that one. Okay, those arbalisters aren't able to attack just yet. Yep, your attack missed because you want to flank stun stagger them. Yeah, I know about that. I could knock this thing to the wall again, but I don't think I need any of that stuff. We can use abilities if these basic attacks miss. So I'm gonna hide my characters behind the walls, I'm thinking. Like, this should be line of sight blocking, right? But better to hide back here. Gotta hide down here. Then charge out. This should be blocker. This should be a blocker. But I don't have enough like blocking positions. But do you think this is the best course of action? This should be line of sight blockers, surely. Okay. They don't want to come, and we'll just wait. Yeah, see, it's really, a lot of times it's really unclear. You would think those are full line of sight blockers, but apparently not. Knock this one into the pit next. Yeah, I mean, that was full blocker. It gets to go. Let's try to kill it. Go. Alright, easy enough. No loot. Alright. The star is an objective. Uric runs their hand along a wall of interred dead, reading the inscription on each nameplate before moving on to the... He stops at one, peering closer and double-checking the name before turning with relief in his... This is the one we were told to look for. About time. Let's hope the contents are still intact. Yada yada. All of this is just saying he looted the vials. Looted the good. Okay. What does our employer want with them anyway? Alaric interjects, eager to share his knowledge on the matter. There's a cure for the blight, or at least it slows the process. The Vanguard keeps it tightly controlled though, only treating those who pledge themselves to their order. As such, it's highly sought after on the black market. That's why our employer is paying us so well. Alright, found the loot. Go. Alright, all dungeons have a main path which leads to your objective and various side paths that branch off of it. Side paths carry more dangers to your party, but they also provide more opportunities for reward. Yeah, so our party is doing fine. We can go to the side path. But let's scout it, make sure it's nothing weird. Satchel, got a little money, an antidote. Alright, before we fight, let's use some of our consumables. 200 health here. And do I need to overheal? I don't think so. I think we're good. Take on this. You hear a sudden movement in the darkness ahead. Sounds of bones rattling and steel scraping across the stone floor. Bright green eyes turn toward you. The undead being lets out a bone-chilling screech as it shuffles forward to the light of your torches, moving faster than its size and awkward gait would suggest possible. Fight. Alright, bosses and only enemies will spawn with unique combat traits. Yep. So you can view these traits and their effects by hovering the enemy's portrait on the right side of the screen and mousing over the trait's name in the tooltip. So for example, we can see this is a Risen General. Got this much health, power. The power, as far as I can tell, isn't the amount of damage it does, but it gives you an approximate idea of how much damage it does. Mending is like healing, defense is damage reduction. That can actually be quite annoying. Movement, speed, Resistances, vulnerabilities. Resistance and vulnerability is only like 25% each without special modifiers, but they're not crazy significant. Immunities, though, can be very significant, so you can't bleed skeletons, you can't fear them. This one has Backstabber, so you really don't want to be flanked, and it's immune to freeze. Alright, none of this is really news of any type. Let's deploy our guys in a forward position, and let's wait for them to come. This guy has a Slice and Terrorize. Now it says Slice is a single adjacent target. So Terrorize is 2 targets in a row. That's why when you hover over it, it can show the 2 red hexes. Alright, good to know. I mean, this general's gonna go there or there. Let's just say he goes here. Put a trap down, why not? Can't do anything. Wait. Yep. Got trapped. That archer is gonna be able to get a free shot off. I don't really see a good solution for that, but we can start laying to the general. See what happens. Hoping to group clump up so we can AoE some. Oh, it has the reload. Now that is interesting. So, the monk, or the pugilist, is a character with unmatched mobility. I can move here next to Bone Crusher, use the Fist of Fury to dash down and hit that archer in the back, without incurring the opportunity attack. And then, blind the general. That's a bit of a crowd control. Then we can do an Inferno Pillar to AoE these 2. And that was a crit. Very nice. I could... You know, this is probably better. Let's knock the Bone Crusher into the general. That takes out the Bone Crusher. Because the general was blinded, he didn't really do much. Let's take out this Arbalister and let's guarantee the victory. Alright, they're all gonna revive, but we'll kill them next turn. Alright, well done everyone. Got a heavy armor of all things. Huh. And a bandage. We have codex entries so we can know what enemies are, what they do, and what their traits do, and so forth. But this has got to be the end of the dungeon. Party comes to a standstill as Muffo shouts and ringing steel reverberates down the corridor toward Ulrich unsheathes his lance, motioning the rest of you forward. He breaks into a stride, barreling toward the sound of battle. That must be the others. Hurry. With the last of the undead dealt with, Vaughn hails you across the chamber with a flick of his hand, a relieved smile forming upon his face as he strides closer to meet you. You find it dead. The exit's just beyond here. Been trying to keep clear of the dead, but they just keep coming. And then they're crushing bones and so forth. You know what? I'm gonna just let the auto scroll speak to me. Alright. It says, don't tempt fate. That is good advice in general. And then we got injury, recover, and so forth. We did not take any injuries. Losing health doesn't actually get you an injury. But, yeah. Let's look at the damage dealt. So... this character is known as a guardian. They're tanky and healy, so dealt relatively little damage. That's not a surprise, but the Stormcaller is kind of a lightning mage. The Pyrolancer and the Pugilist all did very, very similar amounts of damage, actually. Very well done. Got some loyalty. Can you see the morale from this screen? I guess not. But they incurred some fatigue, which is not a surprise. And we got a little bit of loot. The provisions we didn't use got refunded. So we sold off some of that. Got a little more money. It's all good. As the last light of day begins to fade, you spot your company's camp not far ahead. The flickering flame of bonfire stand in the sky above the horizon. Destroying the camp, the celebration of Vaughn's retirement already well underway. And you know what the score is with the retirement. We know what's gonna happen. I'll let the game. You can pause it and read this stuff if you want. My favorite retirement scene will always be The Simpsons. The McBain scene with his partner. They just one day away from retirement with the boat Live Forever. Ah, that is a classic. curse your sudden but inevitable betrayal. Alright, we don't know where Uric is. He's pretty strong. Okay, so ambushed, yada yada. And of course it's Turin, the betrayer. None of this is any surprise. There's a bunch of raiders. Yeah, no honor. So there's way too much text. Like, I tried to read some of them, but I just can't do it. I feel like Battle Brothers and Darkest Dungeon are like the perfect examples of how to do procedural storytelling. Like, you're pretty sure it's like one page of text. In the case of Darkest Dungeon, one paragraph. It's just so well done. Anyway, we don't have Elric, but we do have 4 characters. Now, some of our characters are fatigued. They have less power, meaning less damage, less morale, less EXP. But we do have at least one character who rested, so that's something. 5 enemies, fight to the death. This could be rough. So, I'm thinking first thing we need to do is take out that marksman. Or at least getting his face. If you're in the face of a ranged unit, they only do 50% of their damage. Oh, that's a problem. Okay, this thing, the Blade Answer, buffs itself. Thankfully. Even 50% damage is a lot of damage. Okay. Sweeping Spear swings her Spearian arc, damaging 2 adjacent targets. So we need to flank this Warhound. But if we flank it now, this adventurer gets to do stuff. I don't like that. Because I am being restrained, I literally don't have too many other options. But let's... I think we need to just do attacks. So we're gonna let the adventurer do its thing. Now we're gonna go flank this one. What are our odds of killing this Warhound? With the special attack, that's 100 damage. Probably pretty good. Basic attack 68, blinding strike 68. But let's make sure if I don't kill it for whatever reason, it's at least blinded. This is no time to conserve abilities. All right. Took one out. Knock this marksman into the wall. It's okay. They're splitting damage, right? We want the AI to split damage. Venture goes next. We gotta deal with that thing. Let's We could flank it for maximum damage. I mean, the tall grass, I get a little more evasion, but I feel like we need a maximum damage. Plus, moving away from that blade answer is just a good thing. Okay, I can hide in the grass. I'm gonna channel. And I can actually do the Holy Champion's Order, which will massive buff to power and damage. Let's do it. Alright, so even with the blind, it hit. I think it's because Thunder Armor might be a special ability, and special abilities never miss. Kick this marksman, guarantee it dies. Yep, pecking order. Oh, this blade answer has slowed itself. In the face of that, let's use the... Maybe I should just kill, and then we can have the Valkyrie. That's what this shield maiden is, a Valkyrie. Deal with that blade answer. I think that makes the most sense. Nice. Just need to go. Save that bird dude for last. That's okay. Split damage again. Big damage, but we can take it. The lightning should kill it. If the lightning doesn't kill it, my Pugilis will kill it next turn. Okay. So, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna blind this thing. That also gets rid of my mark. That's a special ability. Use another champion's power buff thing. Oh, it lived, but because I was paying attention to the timeline, I'm ready for that. Oh, it built a little thing, but we could probably knock him into it. There's no sense not using all the buffs. I wish there was a combat log, but I think we've won. Do some unnecessary healing. I don't think the healing actually does anything. Oh, the lightning didn't kill it. Oh, that's fine. Because I have a sweeping spear as a guaranteed kill. Simple enough. Alright, leveled up. Survive the ambush, all that good stuff. You can get attribute points, ability points, all that good stuff. Oh, we'll look at that soon. Also traits and all that stuff. So got a healing potion, but it just gets sold right away. So it's 45 gold. Look at the damage. Yeah. The Stormcaller, of course, is incredible at doing burst damage. Our characters are quite fatigued from all that fighting. Pugilist did well. And to be fair, the Stormcaller was massively buffed up by the Valkyrie. But, you know, combined arm tactics stuff. Okay, so I'm alive. It's all very good. Ulrich is alive as well. Everybody's bloodied. Orin betrayed us. Yada yada. Bunch of other people betrayed us. You know how these stories go, right? Well, they didn't kill any dogs. In fact, we killed a dog, so I don't know that we can go all John Wick on those traitors. If anything, they're gonna go all John Wick on us. My only commentary here is that, Eric, buddy, I don't think they're cowards. I think they're smart. You want to attack when your enemies are passed out drunk. That's clever. Alright. So, they don't think Vaughn betrayed us, but who knows? Maybe Vaughn's the mastermind behind all of it. Alright, we need to rebuild the company, all that good stuff. We can adjust the difficulty in Iron Man, and then you can travel around on the world map. There's 1 year is 120 days, and I'm pretty sure there's a time limit of 30 years by default. So actually it says here I get 300 gold and 80 this thing's called renown. See if that actually happens. I go to Andalon. Okay, now I can actually rename the characters and so forth. Good. Do the level ups. Let's get to the town first before doing it. Click on a part of the world map and it'll take you there. Take some travel time. Every town, it's a pre-generated map. It's always the same map. There can be different events and different things going on. That's all random. And every city has a little history. It was founded by a guy named Andil the Axe. Okay. And it's owned by this noble house. Wait, did I see? There's a status in the city, but anyway, okay, we go into the city, which is safe. Alright, this is all scripted. We've recovered. It's all very good. Apparently we're eating porridge. You know, the grain, what is it called? The bags of wheat you buy at the beginning of Battle Bros. I can never remember the name of that thing. Ground grains or whatever. Oh, apparently we have bread now. Bread. That's more expensive. Apparently we're rich enough to afford bread. And then this is the employer, the guy who sent us to get the vials. Yada yada, Torin turning the vials and got the money. Okay, the boy. There's no young boy. They had no idea where they're going. Yada yada. And this guy doesn't have a job for us. He's apparently going to be the person who provisions us before every dungeon. That's something. Alright, come on. And then he suggests we go get a quest from the Vanguard. Let's go do... Yeah, the company's deductors dudes. It's all very good. Maybe I should pick up all that stuff in the next episode. Let's check the market real quick. You can buy some of this stuff is a slight upgrade. I don't know that we need to save our money for any reason. There's an iron lamella armor, which is quite a bit more defensive. But I don't like the -1 move. That mobility is so important in this game. You don't want to have -1. You can also recruit more characters at the inn. I just want to look through the recruits first. I love looking through the... Okay, here's a Stormcaller, but it's a pacifist. It's really bad. You don't want that. Guardian. Might hire this person. Minus starting morale is not great, but we could work with... Valkyrie. Could be decent. Crit-based Guardian. Huh. Low accuracy. I don't know. I'm not excited by any of these recruits. I don't even think I want any of these recruits. We have the actual party is five characters. So I'm thinking this is a good place to end the first episode. I'll rename characters, start with level ups and the first quest. This is the prologue, so it's not the tutorial, but it's like the Hogarth battle at the beginning battleground. It's fixed, but there's some randomization in there. Thank you for watching. Until next time.